In a time long, long ago, beneath skies untouched by city lights and above lands unshaken by engines and machines, there existed a quieter world, the cradle of ancient Greece. This world did not rush. It breathed slowly, like the sea sighing against stone shores, or the breeze that gently wandered between olive trees and distant hills. Long before crowds gathered in Olympia, before the first foot raced across ancient earth, and before the echo of celebration stirred the valleys, the land was still, peaceful, waiting. Tonight, let us drift back through time, through layers of dust and memory, to that hushed moment before history began to move. Settle in. Let your breath slow with the rhythm of an ancient age. The Peloponnesian Peninsula lay under the soft glow of a silver moon, its fields quiet, its rivers slow. Life in those days was rooted deep in the soil. Men and women rose with the sun, shaped clay with their fingers, tilled their land with wooden plows, and ended their days by the flicker of oil lamps. They told stories as stars emerged overhead, stories passed down through generations like treasured songs. Imagine now the scent of warm earth in the air, the faint hum of cicadas in the distance, and the gentle rustle of reeds near the riverbanks. The wind carries whispers, of goats bleating on the hillsides, of sandals brushing over dusty paths, of priests humming prayers in the soft hush of a stone temple. Here, time is slow. Even the gods move gently. In each small village, the people lived by rituals and the wheel of the seasons. Wheat was sown, olives were pressed, honey was harvested, and grapes crushed beneath barefoot dances. These were not loud lives, but they were full of rhythm, of purpose, and of reverence. At the heart of their world stood a pantheon of gods, each with a domain, each with a myth, and above them all, Zeus, the Sky Father, who watched from the highest peak of Mount Olympus. There were stories of his power, yes, of thunderbolts and storms, of justice and order. But there were also stories of quiet offerings, of sacred groves and solemn vows, of olive branches placed with care upon stone altars in the forest. It was in his honor that a dream began to form. Not yet the grand Olympic Games we know today, but a seed, the idea that through peace, unity, and physical strength, mortals might pay homage to the gods. The earliest tales say that Hercules himself, after completing his labors, sought a way to show gratitude to Zeus. And so, he cleared a space in the wilderness, a simple field beneath the watchful sky, and marked out a sacred ground. There, he ran a race and crowned the victor with a wild olive wreath. Whether myth or memory, the story lingered. It passed from lips to ears in twilight, in temples, in the pauses between daily tasks. A gentle idea began to grow, that strength could be more than war, that victory could be shared, and that the gods might smile upon peaceful competition. And so, slowly, the sacred site of Olympia took shape. Before it became the great sanctuary it would one day be, it was simply land, fertile, wild, and blessed by the presence of ancient trees. The Alpheus River flowed beside it, soft and constant. Nearby, the hill of Cronus cast its shadow across the plain, quiet and unmoved. It was here that the people would come. But not yet. Not just yet. First, there was stillness. The city-states of Greece, Athens, Sparta, Argos, Thebes, were often at odds. Borders shifted like sand in the wind. Warriors trained. Disputes flared. But for a time, the gods asked for peace, and peace was granted. This sacred truce was known as Ikacheria, a ceasefire agreed by all, ensuring safe passage to Olympia for athletes, priests, and spectators alike. Weapons were set aside, tempers cooled, roads were cleared, inns prepared, and hearths lit to welcome strangers as brothers. For a brief moment, the land held its breath. On warm summer nights before the games, families would gather under fig trees and speak of what was to come. They imagined the best runners of Elis, the strongest wrestlers of Argos, the bravest charioteers of Thessaly. They dreamt of cheers, of triumph, of standing before the altar of Zeus, bathed in golden sunlight. But those dreams were still just whispers. The fields of Olympia, wide and open, rested quietly. No stadium had yet been carved, No stone columns raised. Just open ground, sacred and still, waiting for the first footprints of the future. Somewhere in the distance, a shepherd watched his flock beneath the stars. An old woman poured water from a clay jug into a basin carved from marble. A boy practiced leaping over stones, mimicking the heroes of legend. A priest lit incense at dawn and let the smoke rise in thin ribbons toward the heavens. And the land listened. Let your breath slow now. Let your mind walk these roads, soft with dust and worn by time. Imagine the hush before history awoke, the dreams before the trumpet sounded, the calm before celebration. You are there, beneath the timeless sky, as the first lights of Olympia flicker like dreams in the night. A world at peace, a world preparing, and you, cradled in sleep, floating just above the soil of history. The first chapter is only just beginning, but for now, let the hush remain. Let your eyes close with the gentle breeze of antiquity. Let the stillness of ancient Greece carry you into rest. Sleep softly, dream deeply. The games are still to come. Close your eyes and return once more to the ancient land of Greece. The stars remain above you, scattered across the velvet sky. The warm earth beneath your feet holds the echoes of footsteps long faded. The wind carries the breath of gods and dreams alike. Tonight, we journey to a quiet valley nestled between soft hills. A place known by a name whispered in reverence for thousands of years. Olympia. Not yet the home of thunderous crowds and polished marble. No torches, no trumpets. Just nature, pure, sacred, and eternal. As dawn creeps over the horizon, soft and golden, the first rays of sunlight slide across the dew-covered grass of the Altus, the sacred grove of Olympia. It is a tranquil space, surrounded by tall plane trees, wild olive branches, and ancient oaks whose limbs stretch skyward like prayers. This grove is not simply a place. It is a sanctuary, a holy breath held by the earth itself. Birdsong stirs the silence. A stream gurgles nearby. Somewhere, a cicada begins its slow rhythm. You walk gently along the winding footpath, your sandals brushing through wild thyme and soft earth. To your left, the Alpheus River sparkles in the light, slow and steady, a lifeline of this divine place. To your right, the hill of Kronos rises, green and peaceful, watching all. Long before stadiums were built, before stone met chisel and victory crowns were cut from trees, Olympia was simply this: a sacred land, touched by the divine and protected by time. In the very heart of the grove lies an altar, the altar of Zeus, made not of cold marble or golden pillars, but of compacted layers of ash, built slowly through centuries of offerings. Every year, as worshippers burned thigh bones of bulls in his honor, the ashes were carefully gathered, mixed with water from the river, and laid upon the altar, growing it gently, like a mound of sacred memory. It is said that here the gods walk. Long ago, before men built temples, Olympia was the domain of Gaia, the Earth Mother. Later came Rhea, and then Hera, the queen of the gods. Her temple, still rising slowly from its foundations in the time of our story, would one day stand in quiet dignity, simple and beautiful. But even now, in the days before marble and monument, the spirit of Hera lingers in the trees, in the air, in the hush between sounds. And Zeus, mighty Zeus, though worshipped across all of Greece, had his most sacred dwelling here. Not because of grandeur, not because of battle, but because of peace. Olympia was chosen not as a place for war or politics, but as neutral ground, a space where city-states could lay aside their rivalries, walk the same paths, breathe the same air, and offer prayers beneath the same sky. There are no fortresses here, no high walls. Olympia needs no protection. It is protected by sacred oath, by custom, and by memory. Wander a little further and you'll find craftsmen preparing the earliest structures, wood, clay, and stone gathered from the nearby hills. Temples slowly taking shape beneath scaffolding, built with reverence and patience. The sounds of tools are soft, not the rush of labor but the gentle rhythm of devotion. You might see a young sculptor brushing stone with olive oil to reveal its grain, or an old mason whispering a prayer before placing the next stone. They do not hurry. Time moves differently here. Near the grove, women tend to sacred fires. They are priestesses, guardians of the rituals, whispering hymns to Hera and lighting lamps for travelers who arrive weary after many days on the road. They offer bread, olives, and water. Their voices are low, their movements graceful. Everything here honors the gods. Nearby, a flat stretch of land is being cleared. The grass is slowly worn away by the footsteps of young men practicing foot races at dusk. There are no lanes marked, no bleachers, no judges. Just bare feet touching earth, lungs drawing in sacred air, and hearts beating with hope. They do not race for gold, they do not race for fame. They race for something older, a connection to the divine, a tribute to their cities, and a whisper of glory that only the gods will truly witness. As night falls again, the Altus glows in the moonlight. You can hear the rustling of olive leaves. You can feel the peace that blankets the land like a soft cloth. Travelers rest beneath trees. Some hum songs of their homeland. Others pray silently. All are calm. Above it all, the statue of an early Zeus, modest yet powerful, stands in a simple shrine. Later, he will be sculpted in gold and ivory, rising tall as the sky. But for now, it is enough that his presence is felt, in the stillness, in the stars, in the quiet unity of all who gather here. Olympia is not yet a spectacle. It is not yet thunder and applause. It is breath, it is soil, it is spirit, and it is ready. Soon the games will come. But tonight, the sacred land of Olympia sleeps, and so can you. Let the wind in the trees hush your thoughts. Let the river beneath the stars soothe your mind. Let the ancient earth hold you gently as the night deepens. You are part of this place now. Part of the land that would one day bring the world together, not through conquest, but through celebration. Sleep well in sacred Olympia. The next chapter will awaken with the flame of Zeus. Drift now, back into the hush of ancient time. The stars are steady above you, the earth is warm beneath you, and all around, the sacred land of Olympia breathes in silence. But tonight, our story rises toward the heavens, to the thundering sky, and the divine figure who shaped it, Zeus, father of gods and men. Let us begin not with noise, but with fire. Not a blaze, but a soft flicker. A sacred flame, dancing in the breeze, eternal and still. As night falls once more, the sanctuary glows. Lamps are lit throughout the grove, but none so bright as the eternal flame within the temple of Zeus. It flickers against the marble, casting long shadows, warming the bones of pilgrims and priests alike. You sit nearby, wrapped in a woolen cloak, your eyes half closed. The sound of the flame calms your breath. The scent of burning laurel and myrrh fills the air. Above you, the stars slowly turn, as they have for thousands of years. And far above them, on the highest peak of Olympus, Zeus watches, not with wrath, but with wisdom. He sees the quiet gathering below. He hears the rustle of leaves, the lull of the river, the soft footfalls of those who walk in peace. And he is pleased. So let your thoughts be light now. Let the sacred flame burn gently in your imagination. Let the warmth of divine reverence quiet your spirit. You are in Olympia. You are among the gods. And the games are almost ready to begin. Sleep now, beneath the sacred sky. And may your dreams be watched over by Zeus himself. Sleep gently now, as we return once more to ancient Greece. The stars have not moved. The flame still flickers in Olympia's sacred grove, and the wind continues its slow song through the olive trees. But something has changed. A whisper is moving across the land, a message carried from city to city, from sea to mountains, from crowded agora to quiet farmhouse. It is the call to compete. The sacred games are coming, and Greece begins to stir. Far from Olympia, in the hilltop city of Thebes, a young athlete ties leather straps around his hands. In the bustling port of Corinth, fishermen pause their nets to talk about who might win the wrestling contest this year. In Athens, a poet recites the tale of Pelops in the chariot race that started it all. Even in mighty Sparta, where discipline is everything, young men train harder, not for war, but for glory on the field of peace. The call is not shouted. It is spoken gently, yet firmly. It arrives with messengers known as the Spondophoroi, who travel far and wide under the protection of sacred truce. They carry no weapons, only the seal of Olympia and the promise of peace. Wherever they go, people listen. Lay down your arms, they say. Honor the truce. Prepare your champions. Olympia awaits. This is the moment the Greeks call Ekacheria, a divine agreement between all city-states to cease hostilities and let the games begin in harmony. For a brief time, enemies become neighbors. Fierce rivals travel the same roads. Sparta and Athens, Corinth and Argos, all gather not to fight, but to witness strength and skill under the gaze of Zeus. It is a rare thing, this peace, and it is sacred. Imagine now the dusty roads of Greece, winding between golden fields and quiet hills. From every direction, travelers begin to move. There are athletes, lean, barefoot, focused. There are fathers walking beside sons. There are priests carrying incense and small statues of gods. There are merchants with carts, storytellers with flutes, and children with eyes wide in wonder. All follow the same path. All make their way toward Olympia. At every crossroads they meet others. Some share bread and olives, some trade stories, some sing together beneath the stars. And as they walk, the games grow not just in numbers, but in spirit. The call to compete is not only about strength or speed. It is about unity, about proving one's worth without violence, about honoring the gods by being the best version of oneself. In each town, athletes train in open fields. There are no gyms, no shoes, no loud shouts. Just dust rising from feet, the scent of sweat and sun, and quiet determination. They run, they wrestle, they throw the discus, leap, and lift. Their teachers speak in soft tones. Be strong, they say, but be noble. Show the gods that you are worthy of their gaze. Mothers braid laurel leaves into their children's hair. Old men sit beneath fig trees and recall games from decades past, when they too walked the long road to Olympia. And all the while, the sacred flame burns. It waits. It watches. As the days pass, the paths leading to Olympia become crowded. Pilgrims from every region arrive, some barefoot, some on mules, some singing songs in dialects from distant islands. The sanctuary begins to awaken. The priests light more lamps. The grove is swept. The altars are polished, and wreaths are woven from the ancient olive tree that grows near the temple of Hera. No one commands them. No one enforces. This is tradition. This is devotion. And when the athletes enter the altis, they do so not with fanfare, but with bowed heads. They approach the altar of Zeus in silence. They place their hands over their hearts, and they swear an oath, a sacred promise, to compete fairly, with honor, for the glory of the gods and the respect of all Greece. Night falls once more, and in the glow of firelight, a boy listens to his father speak of the first Olympic heroes. A young girl imagines herself one day singing hymns before the flame. A quiet breeze stirs the long grass where tomorrow's runners will walk. The call to compete has been heard, and Greece has answered. The games will soon begin, not with a roar, but with reverence. Not with conquest, but with unity. You rest now on the edge of something sacred. The fields are ready. The skies are watching. The gods are near. Sleep softly, dear traveler. Tomorrow, the first steps toward glory will begin.